Welcome everyone to Tarot and the Moons. My name is Ingrid. Let's get started. Just as a gentle reminder, you can always change the settings here on YouTube to speed up the video. Now, on December 4th, 2025, we have a full moon. And a full moon is a perfect time to bring in something to your awareness. It's really like full moons for me are a time of revelations. We want to be able to utilize the strength of this full moon, right, in order to pull us back into alignment with our purpose and our ultimate intentions, because this is the moment right here with this full moon period in which we actually harvest the intentions that we've set in the past. With any full moon, it's important for us to remember that we have to be first illuminated from the inside in order to have the strength of the full moon's energy and have it impact us in our outer realms in a positive way. So it's the time for you to be fully illuminated from the inside. Now, in this offering, Tarot and the moons, I look at both the Vedic sidereal placement of the moon as well as the tropical Western placement of the moon. And that's to demonstrate how our emotions are really affected by this energy of the full moon, December 4th, 2025. The moon, remember, is an archetypal symbol of our emotions. Understanding our emotions can help us navigate our life's challenges more effectively, right? So that's the key to this whole entire offering. And I just don't foresee the future being quote unquote easier, right? Every time people are like, oh, the ascent, it's going to be easier. It's going to be more challenging for us if we're not in touch with our emotions. And that's because when we understand our emotions, we sort of catapult ourselves into the space of self-awareness. And then we open our hearts more to connect with others and this planet. And I think that's really the Aquarian energy of connecting with each other. When we are able to regulate our emotions and tap into our own intuitive stream through our emotions, we really will be in quote unquote union with each other. To that end, it's important for us to understand, of course, that our emotions are never stationary. They actually fluctuate, right? I could be really feeling elated one moment, and tomorrow there's going to be something in the news that's going to make me feel really depressed, right? So our emotions are just never stationary. They fluctuate. And a representation of that fluctuation for me is to look at both the sidereal system and the tropical system of astrology in order to present us with how is it that we're interacting with these two archetypal energies, right? So, collectively speaking, with the full moon December 4th, our emotions are actually fluctuating between the constellation of Taurus, which is where the Vedic astrologers claim the full moon is located, and the astrological sign of Gemini, which is where the Western tropical astrologers tell us the new moon is placed. And during my meditation this time around for this full moon offering, the word that came up for us collectively to keep in mind during this full moon period was the word barrier. And at first I didn't understand what this meant, right? But ultimately I came to the conclusion that this word was referring to the removal of barriers in our lives, those barriers that are preventing us from moving forward toward the direction of our desires, those desires that really align us to our soul's path. So it's going to be sort of crucial for us this time around to ground ourselves in alignment with who we truly are and who we were designed to be. So in this December, the energy is very much focused on our life's path so that we start making these choices with ease and with peace in order to remove the barriers preventing us from fulfilling our destiny. With this full moon, we are being encouraged to be in the space of silence. And in that quiet time, to be honest and sincere with our listening, so that the guidance that we receive can lead us into our desire. It's sort of like leading us into our desired new social atmosphere, right? And to be fearless in our listening. Sometimes we listen to guidance and we don't follow it because we're fearful of where that could lead us. It's important for us to be fearless in our quiet time, in our listening for this full moon engagement, and to really focus on our personal values and the resources that we already have in order to communicate and interact with the world in a way that feels congruent with who we are and that feels congruent with our heart center, our love, right? Our love. So let's break this down a little bit, and I'm going to begin with the full moon in Taurus according to sidereal and Vedic astrologers. And when we're dealing with a full moon in Taurus, this is a very fixed earth sign, which is a very strong and sensitive energy at the same time. Taurus is ruled by Venus, and it's a planet that's associated with beauty, pleasure, value, material stability. And under a Taurus moon, especially a full moon, emotionally, our energy tends to want to become a little slower, a little steadier, and a little bit more embodied. And that's when we really become aware of what nourishes us: the food, the warmth, comfort, nature, what helps us feel safe. That's very Taurian. And these feelings that arise are often craving for us to get grounded in simplicity and in peace. We may feel drawn toward a sensory experience during this full moon. We may also notice our own stubbornness, our own resistance to change when it starts percolating up. From an esoteric perspective, Taurus is our desire to transform into the aspiration of who we choose and want to become, where there's sort of like this instinctual drive of the body to evolve into its own inner illumination. That's the energy of the full moon in Taurus. And Alice Bailey gives us a keynote with Taurus, right? She's the quintessential queen of the esoteric astrology. And she says that Taurus is about seeing with your eyes open and your eyes illuminated, right? To see what? To see all the luxuries of life, all the material energies, but to see it from the awakening perspective of the third eye, that ajna center. And through that refinement, you will see there is this moment when your physical desires for comforts, your habits are illuminated in order to elevate them for your clarity, for your discipline, for your spiritual purpose. That's the point of the full moon in Taurus energy, according to the sidereal um, uh, astrologers, right? The full moon is in that Taurus. And it's really asking us to rest deeply in our body, right? Taurus representing the body, your body of work, your physical body. Rest deeply within her to allow this higher light to shine through. So, this full moon in Taurus is asking us to ground and to be illuminated from within, to bring you back into your senses, right? Taurus is all about the senses. Bring you back into the senses while also guiding you inward toward your inner vision. Okay? And this is a very lunar moment of embodiment, of stability, of spiritual awakening that we may be going into with this full moon energy. Now, In tropical Western astrology, they're telling us that the moon, this full moon, is in the sign of Gemini. And this is an air energy ruled by Mercury. It's a sign that's concerned with curiosity and also adaptability. And remember, Mercury governs communication, thought, language, analysis, and connection. So under a Gemini full moon, this energy is feeding our mind. What is it feeding us with, right? Your feelings may be expressing themselves towards insights and conversations that really kind of illuminates an idea within you to understand something more clearly. This moon highlights our learning, our sharing, and our dialogue, right? That mercurial energy of communication. And it's going to bring to us a mental clarity so long as we stay grounded, right? And it's also going to depend on how we engage our mind during this time period. So maybe a little less um horrible news, right? Like, don't watch the news, don't listen to the news. What is it that you're going to feed your mind with, right? In esoteric astrology, Gemini has a profound spiritual role, and it's a sign of duality. The duality that's within us, the duality sometimes of the path that we take. It's an interplay between our soul and our ego, our spiritual senses and our material senses. It's governing this dance between light and shadow, inner and outer world, spiritual world, and the material matter world. So in esoteric astrology, believe it or not, they say that the ruler of Gemini is actually Venus, because Venus unifies dualities and harmonizes opposites. So remember, with esoteric astrology, they're kind of really looking at the solve, at the medicine of the energies of astrology as seen through the archetypal patterns. And under this esoteric lens, Gemini is a portal, and it's the portal of the soul, wanting to communicate through the mind. It's where our intuition takes us to the form of language, right? So with this esoteric layer added to this Gemini full moon, it's a moment of revelation through dialogue and inner insight. And look at both these energies are calling us in. It's inviting you to tell your own truth, to be honest with your own communication, and to weave together those parts of yourself that are seeking to be illuminated. Conversations during this full moon might become catalysts in your life. So be aware also that there's a quickness to Mercury. So the awareness is going to move very quickly, connecting your ideas to each other and to your inner soul self. So where Taurus roots us, Gemini opens us. Where Taurus deepens our embodiment, Gemini heightens our understanding. Where Taurus offers an inner illumination through our stillness, Gemini is offering an outer illumination through our communication. So together, these two perspectives, these two archetypes in which our emotions are fluidly running through, these two perspectives are going to reveal a beautifully complete picture of this full moon's energy, which is that the light within the body and the light within the mind produces the wisdom of stillness and the wisdom of dialogue and communication. All right, let's move on to the next slide. Before we go on to the slide where I'm going to show you the tarot players as related to Taurus and Gemini, I wanted to remind you of the importance of the last quarter moon. During that last quarter moon, that's the moment of integration. That's the moment we let go. And that's the moment of activation, right? So if you have an intention in mind, sometimes people are like, oh, I missed the full moon, etc. It's actually when we are at that quarter moon, that half and half point, where things are really potent, where things are really activated so that we can start to allow the release of all the energies that don't serve you, and also realize that in this completion of the full moon going waning, right, that full moon waning, we also have the opportunity to reset our energy. So that's the moment that it's really, really powerful. All right, now let's get to the tarot players. All right, so here we go. We are moving between these two axes, right? Gemini and Taurus. Um, Let me see how I can do this. And we are in a full moon in Taurus according to Vedic astrologers, and in Gemini according to Western tropical astrologers. And don't forget, when you get to that last quarter moon, that's when you're going to start making your intentions. All right, so let's do it this way. So we've got here Taurus, which is ruled by Venus. And in Tarot, there are 3 Tarot archetypes that are ruled by Venus, and that is the Empress, the Hierophant, and Justice. So when I do the readings, we're going to be focusing on one of those 3, or I'll be focusing on one of those 3 for your tarot and astrology reading. Whenever we're dealing with the Empress, we're dealing with the energy of fertility, motherhood, nurturing, sensuality, creativity, beauty, femininity, material comfort, etc. And it's more challenging. It's about insecurity. It's about lack of confidence. It's about lack of growth, right? Sometimes overbearing tendencies can come with this energy. Next, we have I think I did mention it, right? That these are all Venus ruled. Next, we have the Hierophant. This is about tradition. So when I pick this card, it's like choose the traditional route. This is about conformity, convention, even commitment in marriage, religion, belief systems, knowledge. Sometimes even education comes through this because the Hierophant is educating its congregation. And on its more challenging, we are dealing with unconventional lifestyles, relationship roles changing, etc. So that's that energy of the Hierophant. And next we have this energy of justice. And whenever we're dealing with justice, we are dealing with cosmic justice, right? In many ways. And consequences of your actions. Sometimes, obviously, it's legal disputes, the law, truth, honesty, integrity, cause and effect, like I said before. Life's lessons sometimes can come through justice, and obviously law and order. On its more challenging, we're dealing with injustice, right? We're dealing with dishonesty, karmic avoidance, like you're avoiding your karmic results. So that's that energy. And let's move this aside so we can bring now the energy of, I can get it over here, Gemini. So Gemini has also 3 cards that's ruled by Mercury, or rather Mercury rules these 3 energies. So we've got the Magician, the Lovers, and the Hermit. Just 1 second, because I have a little puppy here who's being very mischievous. Um, Sorry about that little pause. I don't know if you heard me, but I was like, I have a little puppy that's being very mischievous because I'm doing these videos. All right, so whenever we're dealing with the Magician, here, I'll hold it up. We're dealing with creativity, action, power, magic, obviously. Self-employment sometimes comes through the magician. A smooth talker, creative visualization comes through the magician. Um, Bucky, no, 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 no. Sorry about that. Really being mischievous here. On its more challenging, we've got blocked energy, weaknesses, indecision, frustration, delays. Yeah, that's the more challenging aspects of the magician. And next we have the Lovers card. And when we're dealing with the lovers, and again, this is the Gemini engagement, we're dealing with major choices that we have to make. Obviously, this is about soulmates, this is about temptation, this is about being put to the test, this is about kindred spirits. On its more challenging, its trust issues may arise, imbalances may arise, disconnections may arise, detachment even may be part of this as well. Okay. And again, all these three are ruled by Mercury. And the last one is the Hermit. The Hermit is really the Virgo card, and it's really like a very chironic energy, but it is also ruled by Mercury. So I'm including it because the Taurus one had three, so I might as well put three here as well. And when we're dealing with the Hermit, we're dealing with soul searching, spiritual enlightenment, sanctuaries, obviously, solitude. On its more challenging, it's about being restrictive or paralyzed by one's own fear of not wanting to go out, right? Not wanting to socialize. And remember, the Gemini energy is can be very social. So again, those were ruled by Mercury. Yeah, let's go on to the reading. This is your full moon reading. Again, we have a full moon according to Vedic astrologers. This full moon is in the constellation of Taurus, and according to tropical Western astrology, this full moon is in the constellation of Gemini. So our emotions that we need to regulate is going to be fluctuating between these two archetypes, of course, depending on your moon's engagement with those archetypes and your moon relationship with those archetypes. I am focusing on your moon sign, so that's my focus in the reading, but people have told me that if you look at your ascendant and you look at your sun in relation to the cards that I'm going to pull for you, it also creates a narrative and a story that you can sort of look at the details between this full moon and the next new moon. Okay. So here we go. That again, we are going between Taurus and Gemini. It's a full moon. Let me put this up here. And if I pick a card for you from the Taurus energy, I will be choosing the Empress energy, which is this one. Justice, this one. And this is from my Arkansas Tarot deck. And the Hermit, right? So all of these are representations of Taurus because they are all ruled by the planet Venus. All right. Now let's put this up here. If I pick one of these, which would be the Magician, the Lovers, and the Hermit cards, those cards represent Gemini. And that's because these cards are ruled by Mercury. All right. So that's what we're doing. Again, I'm focusing on your moon sign, but you can also look at your ascendant and your sun sign. I am using this deck called the Unfolding Path because we were talking about the path, the destined path, right? So I'm using this deck, and I'm using this oracle, the Inner Compass. It's actually a new deck. I've never used it before. I just pre-shuffle everything and I lay them out. I don't know what's here, but it's a new deck that I just learned about when I went on a recent retreat. So this one is called the Inner Compass. All right. So here we go. We're going to start with Gemini and then work our way around until we finish with Taurus. All right. So here we go. First one up is the energy of Gemini. And let's see what the card is. The tarot card is for you. You are working. This is the Two of Wands. I'm immediately drawn to the Empress energy. So this, for me, is someone who's working on a creative project, working on birthing something new for this full moon. So this is a perfect full moon to do it, actually, because it's such a potent moon. It's such, I think it's a, I forgot the name of it, but it's a very strong energy moon that's coming up. So as you can see also here, you've got the world in your hand. So this creative project that you're working on is actually here to benefit the world in some way. It could also be a relationship, right? You birthing a new child, literally, or birthing a new creative project, as I said before. So this is really important, and it will have an impact certainly in your world, certainly as a full moon, it will. And it will happen very quickly for you, so just keep that in mind. Beautiful. You get the card of wisdom. So in addition to birthing something new, not only will it benefit the earth, benefit the world, benefit your world, but you gain wisdom from it. And I'm just drawn by that circular engagement and the sort of energy of creation, of energy of beauty that's coming. And the Venus energy is coming through here. So very beautiful here. Oh, I'm loving that for you. This is again for Gemini, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Wisdom is the word that you are bringing forth with you during this moon phase, as well as intelligence and the Two of Wands. Lovely. Very much Taurus energy, very much of this world. Okay, next we have Cancer babies. Let me just put that here. In Cancer, we have the Four of Coins. So there's a desire here for you to be very sort of cautious with your money, cautious with what you are producing in the world, cautious with what you want to invest in the world, right? So with this kind of energy, I'm kind of restricted. Like we already feel the restriction. I'm gonna go over here. Oops, did I move this? Yes, I did. And I'm being pulled to the Hermit card only because I feel there's a sense of isolation here with this level of restriction that's coming forward. And maybe you are just feeling that restriction because you're not ready yet, or you haven't studied yet, or you haven't felt the illumination yet to invest in yourself. Let's see what your card tells you. Plenty. Yeah, I really feel that this is a restriction that you are kind of imposing upon yourself because the guidance here is that there's plenty here for you, that you don't have to feel this lack, that you don't have to feel that you have to study or go into a space of hermitage, really, of not engaging with the world. When you have plenty, there's more than enough here for everyone. I feel that your restriction here is very much um, based on a belief system that you are not safe, that there is not enough, that there's not enough money for you. And that's a self-isolation that you're doing. The more you hoard your uh, money or your creative projects or your body of work, the less you engage with the world and the less opportunity you'll have to experience the plenty, right? So yeah, work on that. And maybe at that last quarter moon, that's the perfect time for you to release these belief systems that are really not serving you anymore. And that was the Gemini energy again in the head, the belief system. Next we have Leo, sun, moon, or rising. What do we have here for Leo? Beautiful, the King of Pentacles. This King of Pentacles, this energy knows that they have more than enough to give because they're looking at it from a different perspective. I'm gravitating here towards the Hierophant. They're looking at it from the perspective of spirituality. They understand that everything they need is within them. And that's why this kind of king, the King of Pentacles, usually creates magic with what they want to put forth in the world because they have a belief system that what they seek is already within them. What they're trying to manifest is already something they possess from within, from the heart. You can see the pink tie right on the higher chakra and higher heart chakra and the heart chakra center going down to the base. So this is the love energy, this frequency of understanding that material gains are actually found in the spiritual realms, right? The Hierophant. Let's see what your guidance is. Party time. I love this. Wonderful then. Celebrate. It's so funny because it reminds me of, and I thought it was a fake video when I saw like the Pope doing like house, not the Pope, the Vatican. Well, yeah, this Pope doing some sort of house music thing at the Vatican. I was like, what is going on? But it kind of reminds me of that. Like it's time to celebrate. It's time to really look at your accomplishments and the way that you delivered it and be in that space of celebration. This is feels obviously very shamanic with the feathers as well. Beautiful energy. Ah, lovely. And next we have Virgo, if I can get this. Yeah. Virgo energy. Let's see what you've got. The World. Wow. Really powerful for me. And I am gravitating toward this engagement of the Empress. There's some fulfilling aspect that you've managed here for yourself. Something that has fulfilled what you came here to do. And don't pay attention to these other additional because it's going to confuse you. I mean, it has Leo energy, Taurus energy, and then, of course, this energy of Scorpio. But this card deck is speaking of something else with this energy of the world. But anyway, I digressed. You definitely are feeling the accomplishment of something big, something that you birthed into the world for this full moon engagement. This is actually a very beautiful energy. And because the world came out, then you're going to probably be in the space of a new journey coming forward. Okay. Oops. Let's see what you have here. Surrender. I think, yeah, I think surrendering, I mean, you have all of these accomplishments that you've done. I think surrendering right now to what may come, right? Not be in your normal sense of wanting to control the next voyage, wanting to control the next path forward. You're really being asked to surrender. People don't like this word surrender, and I never really quite understood what it's about, except to say that the people that don't like surrender also like to control everything, which is very Virgo in the sense, right? That you want to control every little detail. And it's important for you to surrender if you want to really enter this new era, this new space, knowing that you've accomplished the world and knowing that you can accomplish more in this world, right? Without a doubt. So surrendering what? Surrendering to the divine. That's what we want to do. We want to surrender our next step to the divine. The path, remember what I said in the beginning, this is about your destined path. Don't be in the space of controlling every little thing because you might trip up. Next, we have Libra energy, sun, moon, or rising. And we've got this King of Cups energy. So the King of Cups energy for me is always testing, and I'm being brought to the Justice card here. It's always testing the waters to see if you're worthy, to see if you're truthful, to see if you're honest and honorable enough to engage with this deep, action-driven, introspective energy of the King of Cups. And one of the things that we have to keep in mind is to stay honorable, right? To stay in the path of self-leadership and leadership that inspires versus leadership that bosses people around. Stillness, wonderful. And this is perfect for this energy of the King of Cups and going before the Justice card. You do want to be in that space of stillness. You do want to remember what I said before, listen, and listen without fear as to what is coming through from the deep waters and wanting to be manifested in your space of leadership. Be still. Be in that space of meditation. Lovely. And next we have, oops, nope, I almost skipped it. Next we have the Scorpio energy. Let's see what we have here for Scorpio. We've got the Emperor. Wow, this is again giving me, obviously, if you pull the Emperor, you want to stay in balance and pull the Empress, right? So that's what I'm going to do for you. Is the Emperor is this energy of someone who is an entrepreneur, someone who has a lot of worlds and a lot of opportunities here for you to birth. Pay attention, Scorpio, to what's coming through from the outer space, from your outer world. Yes, you are birthing something new, but pay attention to who appears in your world that you want to continue communication with in order to birth a new empire. Wow, that seems very lofty, but you can bring down sometimes I'm just doing these transmissions, but let's bring that down to a practical step, right? You want to be intelligent with your communication with other people because you never know who's going to help you open up your heart to new possibilities, new opportunities coming your way. Let's see your guidance here. Many thanks, right? And one of the ways to do this, right, new opportunities, is to be grateful for what you already have, to be grateful for the life you've already built, to be grateful for the entrepreneurial engagements you already have. Be in that space of gratitude, and you're going to see your world expand even more. This is the male and female in union, which means it's in divine balance. Lovely. Next we have Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. We've got this Ten of Wands. There's just like sometimes, sometimes we feel, let me just pull the Lovers here for you. Sometimes we feel that these creative projects or this creative endeavor is heavy and there's so much to do. I'm completing it, but I still have a couple more steps to do, and it just feels labored. If we are and if we let go a little bit of control, we will realize that these beautiful Ten of Wands is not as labored as we perceive it to be in the outer realm. Remember your purpose. Remember why you're doing this, why you're doing this engagement. Remember the choices that you've made, right? So sometimes something can feel difficult because you've made I don't want to say the wrong choice because I don't believe there's a wrong choice. I believe there's an experience that you chose that was a little bit more challenging than had you chosen what you loved from the space of your heart, then it would have been a little bit lighter. I don't think this is needs to necessarily happen moving forward where it feels labored, so long as you continue to make the choice that is loving for yourself and nurture your creative projects. Because this also feels like you've been hoarding your creative projects and putting them on the side and not letting people see it, etc. And you've been piling up your creativity, and now it feels burdensome. Now it feels heavy. So now it's time to discern which ones you're going to move forward with and then leave the rest. This is a full moon. So this is perfect time for you to release at that last quarter moon what's not serving you anymore. Let's see what your guidance is. Love. Beautiful. And we chose the Lover's card, right? The Lover's card. This is again a reminder for you to choose what is most loving for you. Choose what is most nurturing for you and leave the rest behind. There's no need to struggle in this way so long as you make the loving choice. That requires a lot of self-communication or communication with your inner self. Capricorn, sun, moon, or rising. We've got the Magician. Wow, fantastic, because this is Mercury. We already are dealing with the Mercury energies. So I'm going to bring in this energy, this beautiful energy of the Empress, which is also another magical being, right? So for those Capricorn, sun, moon, or rising, you are ready to literally show the world the magic that you can create. And it's actually something you've done before. It's actually something similar to what you've birthed before, and it's all in your hands. It's all ready to be shown to the world. Careful about how you communicate your magic, but trust me, whatever you've got up your sleeves, it's going to help a lot of people. It's a healing opportunity for others through you. Let's see what you have here. Intention, right? So be careful about your intention and how you communicate with others. What is the intention that you want to set? Do you want to heal? Then say it. I'm bringing this magic forward because I want to assist with the healing. Do you want to go into power and protection? Then say it. I want to go into this magical space, this space of magic, for power and protection for yourself and for the world. Whatever it is, declare it, but set your intentions and make sure they're clear. Nice. Let's see. Next we have what was that? Aquarius energy. Just give me 1 second because my computer just, I hope it's still recording. Yes, it is. All right. So Aquarius, sun, moon, or rising, we've got the King of Wands. And what is the King of Wands? The King of Wands is literally a workaholic. It's already telling us that we did everything that we could. We worked as hard as we could, and now we're ready to show the world what we've been working on. This is very much in tune with the hermit, right? What is the hermit doing behind the scenes? It's not only going into contemplation, but it's trying to figure out how I'm going to present this to the world, right? How I'm going to present this new knowledge to the world. So Aquarius, once again, you have this energy of slow down a little bit, because there is a workaholic tendency here where we're working. You can go into burnout with this. So I do want you to heed the guidance here of contemplation and retreat just a little bit, enough for you to gather your own inner light, and then go out and show the world what you've been working on. Let's see what your guidance is. Back to nature. I love it. So yeah, retreating where, contemplating where, in nature. And this is like you on your own so that you can receive the information that you need to receive in order to assist the world and those around you, right? So pause the work just a little bit and get back to nature. Now we have Pisces energy, sun, moon, or rising. And we've got the Queen of Wands. Wow. Really beautiful energy, Pisces. I mean, along with the energy of this king energy. Right after it, we have this energy of the Queen of Wands, and she's already out in nature. She's already in tune with nature. She's already gathered. Let me just bring back this beautiful energy of the Empress. She's already gathered the information that she needs, and she's wanting to share the mystical energies that she learned from nature, the mysteries that she's learned from nature, and she's wanting to share that with the world. She's someone who's very focused and not easily distracted because she knows she has to proceed with levels of intelligence, and she's draped herself with the purple light of healing energies. So she's already healed herself out in nature in order to birth with intelligence. See what your guidance is. Me time. I love this, right? Like this energy of, yeah, I did it. I healed myself. I birthed a new version of me. This is the me time that you're actually wanting to share with the world. How did you heal? How did you go out in the process of creating what you saw in nature? How did you listen to nature? All of this is your time that you've spent that you're willing to share now with the world. Beautiful. And of course, don't forget to spend some me time, which means self-care, right? Self-care. Next we have, oh, why did I do that? I put the cards down first before taking it out. Aries energy. Aries, you've got the star. This is all about hope. This is hope overflowing within you, showing the world what you are, and I am gravitating towards the Empress energy here, showing the world what you are made of, showing the world your inner intelligence, and showing the world that you haven't lost hope, that you actually possess within you a fountain of hope that you do want to share with the world, and that you're going to share it with the world. You're going to communicate in a different way that gives people hope. Beautiful. Let's see, purity. And you're going to do it with a sense of a pure heart, an open heart, a giving heart, a heart that is non-judgmental, a heart that is willing and able to show the world that all of these emotions, that take us down into the depths of lack of hope are unnecessary. So long as we stay pure of heart, we will be literally functioning with the intelligence of the stars. The intelligence of the stars. Wow, what a beautiful transmission. And that was Aries, Sun, Moon, or Rising. May it be so. Next we have Taurus, and according to Vedic astrology, this is your moon. And this is actually this energy of the Two of Cups, which is to be in the space of loving embrace, right? So this is I'm gravitating towards the Lovers, but I was hesitating because I'm like, do I want to bring that in? Yes, of course I do. This is about being in the loving embrace of the light and the shadow. This is about being in the loving embrace of your friends. This is about being in the loving embrace of your lovers. This is about you making the choices that fulfill you and that allows you to connect with another. Beautiful. I love that. Let's see what this energy is. Trust. Trust the process. Trust the experience. Trust. Be in the space of trusting your instincts, because when we are engaging with the Lover's energy, this is about trusting your gut, right? Trusting your instincts, trusting your inner intelligence as well as your outer intelligence, right? Does this ring true? Is this true for me? Am I making the loving choice, right? Beautiful energy. Taurus, Sun, Moon, or Rising. That was the Two of Cups. Well, folks, that was it. That was the reading for this full moon in Gemini, according to tropical Western astrologers, and in the space of Taurus, according to Vedic astrologers. All right, until next time, stay safe and don't forget to journal your experiences and see what emerges. All right, have fun. Bye.